We start this week talking about World War II. Why? Because I'm convinced that the effects of this conflict continue to affect us all as of today. World War II represented a true historical U-turn for two world regions, Asia and Europe. The Japanese occupation of Asia broke the colonial tie with the West, a tie that could not be re-established after the war, leading the region to a post-colonial era. Europe, as Asia, emerged out of the war, completely changed from what it was in the immediate pre-war period. World War II represented a U-turn for Europe for three basic circumstances. First, Continental Europe emerged divided from the war and remained divided for the following 50 years. This basic division was essentially related to the potential of the Soviet army to move westwards at the end of the war until it reached Berlin on April 30th, 1945. And the subsequent transformation of these territories liberated by the Red Army into popular democracies in accordance to the mandate of the February 1945 Yalta Conference. When in the late 1980s and the early 1990s, these countries renounced to the socialist model in economic, political, and social terms, they searched for new security grounds at times of widespread regional uncertainty and rapidly joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and the European Union in the mid-year 2000s, the largest expansion ever of these organizations. The Europe of today shows the difficulties of digesting the end of the Cold War era. Second, the war represented the acceleration of the relative decline of Western Europe with respect to the then technological leader of the day, the United States. It was in 1945 that the largest gap in per capita gross domestic product took place between Western Europe and the United States. Although some catching up took place after 1945 and up to the early 1970s, a period known as the Golden Age, Western Europe could never regain its 19th century relative position with respect to the United States. The relative decline of Europe has continued and continues at present in demographic, economic, and technological terms worldwide. Therefore, European integration can be perceived as a desperate way to avoid this decline, or at least to slow down its effects. Third, World War II was the first war against civilians at a gigantic scale. If during World War I, the civilian casualties were around 5%, at World War II they were 50%. War did not differentiate among social classes, as had been the case in 1914-1919. In terms of killing, it was much more democratic. The social impact of the war led to a new conceptualization of authority, legitimacy, solidarity, and democracy. If you take into consideration that the whole continent was by 1942 subject to the tyranny of the Third Reich and its allied puppet states, you would understand that the new European states lacked any historical legitimacy after the war and would only regain the allegiance of their citizens on the basis of a new social contract. The post-war nation state had to rescue itself from its war performance when it was unable to take care of its citizens. According to Alan Millward, one of the most important contemporary historians of Europe, European integration was a way to assist the post-war European democratic governments to regain the allegiance of their citizens by allowing these states to achieve specific goals which they could not deliver in either a purely national or international framework. Integration was the process through which each European state, representing a stable coalition of interests, reconciled their different interests and objectives with those of other democratic European states, not through classical intergovernmental negotiations, but within a new supranational framework. This was what Alan Millward labeled the European rescue of the nation state.